Yes, it's about that time, ladies and gentlemen. This is about that time. Hey, stay tuned. As we got countdown, we got 3 minutes, 3 minutes, and we are there. All right. Yes. Counting down. 2 minutes. We're ready. Good evening, Pam Pam, all the way from Dallas, Texas. Yeah. Yeah. Countdown, countdown. Yeah. All right, just a few more minutes. We'll be on. All right. All right, it's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. We are live here online. I'm a prompt man. I start on time. Well, tonight is going to be a great show tonight. We're going to deal with the word love. We're going to deal with the love. We have Dr. Stevens in the background waiting. We're waiting on Pastor Bard. He will be with us shortly. And certainly, we're looking forward to this conversation on tonight. Yeah, we're waiting on it. We're waiting on this conversation tonight. Right here in the EFI Network studio. We are live and on fire. Tonight we're going to deal with some questions that was asked, but we mostly going to deal with this question tonight, and that is, when a man loves a woman, how does a woman know it? Are y'all ready for the show tonight? If you ready for the show, tag, like, and share. Don't forget to go to YouTube you having problems, go to YouTube to Lamar Thomas, yours truly, at youtube.com, and you can recapture all of these shows that we have. Yes, it's going to be nice and epic tonight. We're going to move forward with some deep thoughts, and it's going to be on until we drop. So if you really want the answer, sit back, put your seatbelt on, and watch us go to work. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. We're going to work tonight. Yeah, we're going to work tonight. Period. Listen, you want to call in with your live question? You can call in with your live question. Guess what? I'm going to put the number up right now. You can call in live tonight and ask your question. We're waiting for you. All right. All right. Let's head for the hills. Let's head for the hills. All right. Listen. Welcome to the Men's Round Table about true relationships and marriage. You do know there's a difference between relationships and a marriage. Some of you doing marital duties in a relationship status. Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? That goes both ways for a man and a woman. You need to change the way you think. You need to change the way you move, the mode that you have. You need to change how you lay out the platform. What is about you that keep attracting bad men and bad women in your life? What is it? Certainly it's not the same people that you keep bringing into your life. You have to take responsibility for what and how you bring in your life. If there's no good men or no good woman coming in your life, as you state, what is it about you that has attracted those type of men and women? And with that being said, you need a change. You need to understand that there must be a change on the inside of you rather than on side of them. You need to look and stop and see what you're doing. Take a deep look on the inside of yourself and see what you're putting out. Now, men, let me talk to you for a few moments as our co-host has just entered the room. You need to check out what you putting out. If you don't like what the woman you have is putting out, check out what you putting in her, because she's only putting out what you gave her. You can't expect for the woman to grow on what you gave her, because nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Dr. Boyd, it's good to see you, man.
What's up, my brother?
Yeah, man, it's time to get down to the gritty tonight. Stop till we drop. Dr. Stevens done made his round. And certainly tonight we're going to get off into this thing monstrous. He's excited. You can see him. He itching already. You see him?
My boy, man.
I think he done got it.
Stevens, man.
Yes, sir. Nah, he done got addicted, man.
Man, how old are you, Dr. Stevens?
Man, I'm too old to be young and far too young to be old.
That's a good non-answer. So, do you have any numbers you can pretty much?
Oh man, hey, watch this. That's off the air. That's off the air.
Oh, okay.
Indeed. Okay. Hey, because this is why I say that. If you're too young, they respond to you a certain way in ministry as if you are a novice. If you're too old, they think you're antiquated, and not aware of what's going on within the climate.
Oh, I got you. Very good. I'm gonna learn a lot listening to you, boy. That was good. That boy
good. That boy good.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, y'all tough.
Woo, yeah, we know it's football night, but we ain't worried. We're going to roll on. The crowd will get in the minute. They already on here. Actually, we've got a pretty good crowd. We're on 4 different platforms. We want to say to all of you, welcome to Men's Roundtable concerning relationships and marriage. We ask you to tag, like, and share. We're on the move. Let's get down to the first question again as we devour it and tear it apart and begin our session here. Let's start with this again. Should a man have mercy on a woman when she do wrong to him? And certainly we coming to the major question on tonight, and that is how to know when a man truly loves a woman. We're coming, but we got to build up our platform. Pastor Boyd, Dr. Boyd, what is your intake on that?
When we talked about this Monday night, and it really, sure. And Dr. Stevens brought out some heavy things from different culture, different history, different psychological makeup. And when I think about that, should he show mercy? And when you make that, and he made me think about something because the term is so generic, that I can say yeah, but then where am I saying yeah from? You know what I'm saying? If I say no, where am I saying no from? And I thought about that, and it's a rhetorical question, because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, in order for that person to show mercy, they have to have received mercy.
That's true.
And when Dr. Stevens brought that out, how the history of black men, and I think we stuck with that. I learned me a new word on this show. This ethnicity, I can't say it like he said, but this it's you can't expect a person who has not received mercy to give, just spontaneously give sponsors because of this is a female or whatever the case it may be. And I think it's hard for men to show women that mercy, especially when we have been treated so merciless. So I agree with him at the when I did a summation of what he brought out. I thought about it, and I'm like, man, are you sending that man to go out there back out there to show mercy, and he haven't received mercy? That's going to be you're going to create a really hostile environment, because they can only give whatever is there, and it's not going to be enough to the degree to what this question is asked. Know? So so I will have to be cautious how I answer that question, because I don't want us to make this theoretical viewpoint and somebody use this as a law where you're supposed to, you show mercy to the woman and stuff like that. And that man gonna have a trigger about all the things that wasn't happening for him when he was in the situation, when he was trying to take care of his child, especially if it's in a baby mama situation. And you really expect that man to show mercy if that woman have done everything in her power to alienate him from that child's life, and then after taking him through the mental and emotional abuse, and then you come back and say, well, she says she's sorry, he need to just show her mercy. Okay, he better have Jesus and Jesus alone for that to happen. That man been divorced, and she took everything, and she come back and want to be back in his life. That gonna be, that's a discussion, and that requires somebody like Dr. Stevens to say, hey, y'all need to see some counsel before you come to that degree. So he made me think really about that, because we're assuming the man has received mercy, so he can give. But if he ain't received it, then 9 times out of 10, hey, what we say, it is what it is. It's where it's at.
Well, Dr. Stevens, as you started the fire the last time and left us out here on the road drifting, let's see if you can catch this flag and get us down to the ground.
Man, this is an interesting question because I heard Pastor Boyd spiraling back to the mercy component. And what is so interesting is that within our culture, within our culture,
and then Woodard, go ahead.
Within our culture, we have been and we have practiced knowing innately, instinctively how to defer to her.
Yeah,
it's innate, it's instinctively. It's even from childhood upward. You know, if she hits you, don't you hit her back. You don't hit her back. She a girl. She didn't hit you clean upside your head. She didn't hit you with stuff. She didn't punch you. Well, she only doing that because she like you. So that type of programming is there. So when this brother says, all right, listen, I'm not gonna let you hit me no more. And I'm using hit figuratively to describe the lack of mercy that we have received, not from a subjective standpoint in terms of this is my experience or this is that person's experience. I'm saying as a whole, listen, you let her have it. I mean, you let her go ahead and have it. You let her go ahead and have it. You don't say that to her. Look, you hurt her feelings. And sometimes the feelings can move in a way to be used to manipulate the environment and to manipulate the circumstances and to manipulate the situation. So you alleviate the facts and just observe, okay, you hurt her feelings, so you must have done something. It has nothing to do with her ability to express in accurate moments how to make her emotions move to fit whatever outcome she would like to have.
Right.
We're not gonna equate that. That has got to be far-fetched. You know, she took the toy from she took the toy from the brother. She took the remote control from the brother's hand, and now she's crying. Then what did you do to make her cry? I was watching the TV first. I had the remote. It was my turn to watch the show.
Right.
Well, you go ahead and let her watch it. Why? Because of what?
Like that.
Now does that? Now the question is, we're saying this from a child's perspective. Does that sound fair? Does it sound like something that is of equity or equality? It doesn't. It doesn't. Anyone can see that doesn't show equality or equity. Now, when the generalized, now to move to this question that was asked tonight, you said, how does a woman know when a man loves her?
Right.
What's interesting is, one of the questions I have to ask, and I don't want to sound disingenuous, is how old is this lady that's asking the question? Because you are an adult according to the law, you are an adult at 18 years old. So is this an 18-year-old young lady? Is this a 23-year-old young lady? Is this a 25-year-old young lady? Is this a young lady that's 30? Is this a young lady that's 35? Is this a young lady that's 45? Because all of these things have to be factored in. At 18, that question is different to an 18-year-old set of ears. Now, what is interesting is, now you're asking, how do you know that he loves you? And in many cases, that is measured by how subservient he is to you. Let me repeat that again. Sometimes they identify that as, I know that he loves me because I took him through this. I tested him in this way. I tested him in this way. Even to quote Louis Farrakhan, Louis Farrakhan said this, and I think he's a very knowledgeable man. I think he's a man of some wisdom. He said, a woman can care about you, but she's going to test you. She's going to test you. So she decides to test. She decides, I want to make sure that we're clear. She decides to test, and then she decides how the test is going to be graded. And then that is going to be used to determine if you love her. And then at the same token, you are going to run the risk of her now saying this: I like him, but he's just too nice.
Something is wrong somewhere, right? Something wrong.
He's so nice until I just walk all over him. Yeah, now that's why I said age, as it relates to that question, is important, because 18, we're hoping that by the time you're 18, you haven't had the same amount of experiences as someone that is 45. Right. So how you may measure that is different at 45 as opposed to 18. Right. Now, if you're 45 asking that question, then that says a lot about you and why that question has to be asked. Because now, are you seeking to find out who gives me those butterflies? Who is going to give me the butterflies? Who is going to give me the butterflies? Who develops that kind of chemistry and connection, which we know that is based up on a certain type of attraction? I get it. Right. Now, if I gained and I rendered myself and gave myself to that person based upon the level of attraction, the level of chemistry, how tall he was, or whatever those things that were most appealing to me, she will create a narrative that fits the emotion that makes her feel most comfortable. That's right. So you don't have to look at me in that tone of voice. That's right. He's 6'3". He said hello to me. He really did. Now here is the question I would like to ask. When you are up in age, when you're older, let's say 45, because I'm hoping I'm not talking to the 18-year-old. This may be someone 35. Now, if you're in your 40s, or I'm going to even say in your 20s, what happened to all of the guys that you knew really liked you for who you were? What happened to the guys that were willing to walk through and to go through whatever test you put him under just because he wanted to show you how much he cared about you? Right. Because if you're still asking that question, that means that you've overlooked, disregarded, ignored, and didn't like that guy. You didn't like that guy. So now, how do you know if a man loves you? If you're asking that question as you've gotten older, then you have ignored and dismissed too many guys that really care about you. You dismissed many guys that really cared about you, because that is something that you can't script. You know what you know. See, this is the thing that some people don't want to acknowledge and embrace, Pastor Boyd. Sometimes that's why the God of the Bible, he works. He works. That's why he said it is better to marry than to burn. They said that's why he said abstain from fornication, because once you start getting the erotic enjoyment involved, that's going to dismiss your rationale. That's it. Because now you have the tendency of equating various things outside of the bedroom with your clothes on. Now you're going to equate various things to something that's not happening with his clothes on. With his clothes on, he don't want to talk to you. With his clothes on, he don't want to deal with you. With his clothes on, he doesn't provide anything or give anything to invest in the furthering of the interaction. But with his clothes
off. True.
But with his clothes off.
This is true. Oh man.
So how do you know? It's not a matter of all of the emotional butterflies that we try to couple with that love component.
Right.
What is most beneficial, and where would you like your life to go? And will you be able to recognize that when you see it in this season?
Wow. Wow. That right there is enough, ladies and gentlemen, to understand deep thoughts of a relationship and also a platform for marriage. That conversation right there is enough to bring you into knowledge of it. Now, my next question to that, do she have to dress up like she a Chinaman today, tomorrow like a Pharisee, and the next day like a German, the next day like an African, the next day like Beyonce, and it keeps going on because this identity thing, we'd have no clue who you are. So therefore, as a man, and this is roundtable for men, I'm speaking on the behalf of men, and Dr. Stevens will, I believe, divided. Pastor Boyd is back. Let me put him back on. And Pastor Boyd is back. There he is. And this question that we have here on this table is why? This is from men. Why do women believe they need to put on all these cosmetics to hide them they real self from us? When you came to us, now they called us a liar. They call us lies. We tell lies. We do this. We do that. We do this. But when the first lie was, when I first met you, you know those eyelashes and that wig weren't none of yours. You knew it. You knew all this stuff wasn't none of yours. So you came to me directly with a lie to deceive me. Why don't you let us see the real you so we can appreciate the real you rather than to sit and watch you in the background to try to learn you? You know, I was dating back in the day. And I met this chick. She was beautiful. When I say she was beautiful, listen, she was gorgeous. There was nothing about her that was bad at all. She went to bed and she woke up. She still looked the same way. But one day I caught her before she got up. And she wasn't the same lady that I laid down in the bed with, because I didn't know her all the way. I didn't accept her because the first thing I said, well, she's not she don't fit no, I can't do this with her. She's not my type. The way her cosmetics she had on said that she is my type. But when the cosmetic fell off, I'm like, no, it was fun, but I can't handle that. But tear it apart. Go on and rip it apart. Any one of you that want to rip it.
Well, because I know Dr. Stephen gonna eat this one up. This is gonna be barbecued on the 4th of July. Amen. I think
I don't know the real her. I don't know the real her.
Yeah, but I think this, when we say show me the real you in this generation, that is what they saying they are.
The cosmetics? That's who they are?
They don't say it's, you notice what they say? It's my hair.
Because she paid for it, right? Yeah.
It's my hair, it's my buttocks, it's my breast. Though it has been altered, this is the way I wanted it. So this is me.
But unfortunately, I can't agree that it is with her because you weren't born that way.
But we up in that upper group. We're gonna talk about the age since we learned. We don't want to be judgmental, but because we in that same territory,
Yes, sir.
You know how we thought and the way we seen and what we see, because we didn't see black women like that.
That's true. When we was growing up, we didn't see them like that. They didn't have all that stuff.
We didn't see women like that in our time.
Cocoa butter, lipstick was the gloss and all that. Yeah, the Vaseline,
we
what we
didn't see
had.
that. So
no, sir.
We base it upon the history of what we grew up to accustomed to.
That's true.
This age is what they're accustomed to. We see a totally different black women than we seen back in the day.
This is true.
So
this is true.
When we talk about the real you, and I know, like I said, Doctor, I'm gonna throw this in and throw that. Psychologically, they have convinced themselves this is who they are. Even a big plus size woman. You know, when I go on these ships, you know, it's just some things I don't
that
think
should not be seen.
But they feel, whether male or female, that they look good in it. This is me.
For whatever reason, yeah.
And you know what we say? Whatever floats your boat. That's you, that's you.
There you go.
When we can't even define what really, in this age, what is really you. That's something that is an absent of. So I think we all gave a cosmetic us. I know I did.
Yeah. Yeah. Benz did too. That's the truth about that basketball. We did it.
I gave you who I wanted you to see, not who I was, because I didn't trust you like that. And
so that's a good question right there. So you saying that they did
wasn't that high.
So you telling me they did that because they don't trust you?
I'm using this street cover because this is what gives me the attention. This is what worked for me. This is what get me in them circles. You know.
Right.
But if I take that uniform off, partner, you know,
she might not be happy with you either, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'll probably be verging up to about 30, 50, 80 some years old. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything that I didn't have that self-worth. So that I think that question is loaded, but it also goes to the grain. Is because I think at some point we all presented a cosmetic. We just used a woman because that's easy. It's easy to say, the long lashes and the and the expanded here and closed in here and all that, because we see the modification, but there's some deep that to our time. I think we all use those cosmetics of what we did, and that's the reason why some of these women got hurt fooling with us. Lamar Thomas, that's the reason why they did go. And then guess what? We don't want to put it in their head that if they didn't have a certain, if it wasn't bow-legged, wasn't certain height, wasn't there, you wasn't, you weren't considered the looking list. You weren't considered. So what most women did, if that mini skirt back, and I'm just gonna talk in our time, if that mini skirt got her phone numbers or got guys asking her for a phone number, guess what her friend gonna do? She gonna slap on a mini skirt. They gonna put on, because they say, okay, this is what's trending, this is what's hot, so the Days of Duke and all these different things. So I just think I think we all are guilty of that, but I wouldn't want to just leave it on the women's side. I think men can do that way far better than women can. I really do think that. Now that's my opinion, but I really think, that we hide behind that title, that collar, that whatever it is, we know how to get behind. That's cosmetics to me.
That's true. That's true. And I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. However, we don't go to the extreme. This is what I'm dealing with, the extreme of this matter. When it gets to the point.
I got some friends that say they introduce themselves as pastor and not say pastor. It's almost like a death sentence. It's like, man, hey, that's extreme.
That is extreme.
See to yourself, or what else role we think, like a football player. All he knows is football. All he gonna talk about is football.
That's true. This
hey,
is
man,
true.
What about hey man, we were talking about some going over here and doing something. Yeah, man. When I was back in 19, remember when we went undefeated that year, man. Man, what they got to do with this conversation? Everything got to relate back to football. So I understand what you're saying. The physical of it, that these people, they got some mental issues. I really think they got some help, just like these Caucasian folks. They have some mental. I know probably Dr. Stevens know what it was, but they had to always keep on cutting on themselves, keep doing this because they never feel right or whatever. I think it's some kind of psychological condition that they diagnose some people with. So yeah, I think it's so prevalent this year. But look at him. Why would you even have sex or entertain somebody that got cosmetic on in the first darn place? I mean, come
on. That's all I was trying to get to right there. You done took me way across the bridge. That's all I was trying to get right there.
She had all this fake stuff on. Well, you knew she was fake when you got with her.
You got her. Now why you fool with it? Exactly.
You didn't know that was too round, didn't you? Yes. You did know. Wait a minute. Y'all ain't saying that. You did.
That's all I was saying.
You did know that was too perfect.
That's all I was saying earlier, Doc. You took me way across the water. I didn't want to go across there and swim back. Now I got to swim back over here. The Dr. Steve over here throw me a life jacket.
This is interesting because you said you said something about the made up job and those type of things, the cosmetics, what have you. Well, men do it too. It's interesting. What could be considered a masculine cosmetic to some women and is the appearance or the verbiage of having money when you don't have it.
Exactly.
A man's appeal or one of his most elite contributions to a lady or a lady within that market is not how handsome we are.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's not imperative that we walk around here with a toupee on. You start losing your hair, go bald. It's never about.
I'm gonna hold on to mine, Doc. I'm gonna hold on to mine.
I'm just using it as an example.
I know.
Our greatest asset, our greatest asset to the fair sex is not based upon how handsome I am. That's important. Mm-hmm. That may be important. And in fact, even when you start looking at the height of a man,
mm-hmm.
when you start looking at the height of a man, that connects to her feminine nature, her female nature that consists of, will he be able to protect me? So she equates his size, which cannot be, that cannot, if you under 6 feet tall, you under 6 feet tall. There is no, you can't have a cosmetic surgery that's going to make you taller. There may be some science, some scientific discovery or some ways to do it, but the harsh reality is, if that is possible, the chances of it is so rare until it's below percentage data, to say the least. So if he's short, he's short. So she is more inclined to engage and desire to connect with a man that's taller, because her nature desires for her to be protected. And
that's right.
And from a position of, will he be a protector?
The
next thing
with his stallionness, they looking at that first.
Yeah,
the stallionness of him. Yeah.
Now the next thing is, TLC said it. Hanging in his best friend's ride on the passenger side, trying to holler at me. That has nothing to do with whether or not he's tall. That has nothing to do with whether or not he's handsome. That has something to do with he can't provide for me. That's the inferred. That is to be inferred. That is the insinuation. He don't have any money, because if he had some money, he'll be driving a car. So if he's going to pretend, okay, let's say, for instance, he's driving his friend's car. So he is giving the impression that he's got money when he doesn't. So, okay, that's going to be a cosmetic job. That's a cosmetic job. Okay, I give that. I'm going to give you that. But here is the interesting thing. A man's protection and a man's provisioning goes within her nature. And those are things we have to acquire. So if you're not 6 feet tall, that means I have to exercise, or if I'm not huge in stature, that means I may need to learn self-defense or take some self-defense classes. My parents may have had to take some judo classes. I may have had to make sure I spent time at the gun range, or whatever the case may be. Or those are things I may have to gain outside of me. Provisioning, money. I don't have the same amount of money. You can't expect a 19-year-old man or 20-year-old man to have the same amount of money as a 45-year-old man. He hasn't had enough time to acquire that. Because in order to gain that kind of money, say it again, Stevens, he's got to gain it outside of himself. Unless there is a rare situation where he has a family inheritance. Other than that, he's got to go. And then within that, it's not going to be released up until a certain time. So under normal, natural conditions for a man, everything that we gather, we have to gather it, and it's outside of ourselves. Protection outside of ourselves. If I'm short, I gotta get my muscle mass up. I gotta lift some weights. I gotta do some push-ups. I gotta do those things I have to do outside of me. If I'm broke, hey, I gotta work hard. I may have to work 2 jobs. I may have to stack this paper. I may have to work 60 hours a week. That's outside of me. Now here it is, as it relates to beauty. She born with it. She didn't have to move outside of herself. Now y'all gonna really make me mess some things up, because y'all that's okay. I'm gonna go in that rabbit hole. I'm gonna turn the light on, and I'm gonna make sure you find your way. Because some people will say that it was men, that there are men who emphatically imply women and tell them how they are not beautiful. The first person that implied emphatically that you were not beautiful was not a man.
Exactly.
It was a lady that sat you between her legs with that hot comb and burned the back of your neck and burned the back of your head and pressed your hair out and say, you're gonna have to wear your hair like this. You're gonna have to do it. You have to press it like this. You're gonna have to do it like this. You're gonna have to press your hair out. We didn't say anything was wrong with it, but yet there are various changes. There are various changes that will be made. Yes, some of these changes were made to get your attention, but they were not made to get you.
Now you're talking.
Now, to get your attention can garner various things because she has your attention. But it wasn't to gain you. In fact, sometimes with these goofy guys that, oh, baby, you're just so beautiful. Oh, baby, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're just so beautiful. She hears the voice of a novice who don't even understand what beauty is.
That's right.
So she disregards that, especially if you're not a man that is of a certain status to her.
There you
go. If you're not a man of a certain status, you telling her that you're beautiful is, oh man, whatever. Oh, well, I think whatever. That's nothing. Beauty.
Let me jump to the thing here.
Beauty.
So next week we will.
He's on the phone call. Continue down.
Oh, beauty, a woman's beauty is her largest asset within the economy of men. Because watch, don't look at me in that tone of voice. Some people can be uncomfortable, but it's true. A man don't ask you, where you get your degree from? A man is not going to ask you, do you have a master's? A man is not going to ask you how much money you make a year. A man is not going to ask you what kind of work you do. A man is not going to ask you all of these various things to find out how much money you have, to find out how much money you make a year. What kind of community do you live in? What kind of neighborhood you live in? A man is not going to ask you that because your largest asset to him, until you open your mouth and begin to explain things, until he gets a chance to observe your behavioral patterns. Right. Your beauty is the largest asset to a man. That's why some women will degrade a man. Oh. Oh yeah, she must be pretty, huh? Oh, she's a little younger and pretty, huh?
The young tender, yeah.
But I'm not going to even say tender. I'm saying beauty. I'm 55. Well, baby, if you 55 and you look good, how good did you look when you were 23? How good did you look when you were 25? Now, see, some people can look at me in that tone of voice. Pretty girls have received privilege. Pretty girls have received privilege. It's about, did she preserve that pretty? Did she manage her pretty? Did she maximize various opportunities because and with the beauty she had? Right. How did she invest that beauty? Because she was born with it. All right, you think I'm making this up? Let's go and look at the book of Esther. Look at the book of Esther. The Bible declares that Israel was spared not because Esther was a heart surgeon.
That's it.
The Bible declares that she had access to the king, and you can go and look at your scriptures for yourself. The story of Esther, the Bible declares that she was more beautiful than all of the other women, and she required very little to accentuate the beauty she had. Because in order to go before the king, they went through these beauty tips. They were bathed in oils. They had perfumes. They had all of these various things. Now, those older people that operated in wisdom said, when you go before the king, these are some of the things you need to talk to. Why did those older women know that? Why did those other people know that? Because they knew that men are attracted to beauty. If you gain his eyes, you'll gain his ears.
That's true.
And then when Esther said, you know what, I'm a Jew. She said, what? Right. The king said, hold on, what? And then it came about. Well, I will sit here for such a time as this.
That's it.
But we want to graze over the fact that Esther was beautiful, nice to look upon. Oh, that's not enough. That's not enough. I get it. Y'all want to go to the faith era. I get it. One of the things that made Sarah stand out, the Bible declares that Sarah was beautiful. That's why King Abimelech wanted her. That's why King Abimelech wanted to take her as one of his wives. And then when he took her, God had to hunt him down. God taunted him and say, listen, that's not just that man's sister. That's Abram's wife. And then King Abimelech said, hold up, I took her with a good conscience. And Abraham had to acknowledge, listen, that she is my wife, but she is my sister too on my daddy's side. But what was it? She was so beautiful because the king wanted her. And Abraham said, she's so pretty, she's so beautiful. Listen, I'm gonna offer the king my wife because he gonna try to take her anyway.
That's true.
Why are you saying that, Stevens? A woman is born with beauty. And so when she enters that adult area where she can make certain selections, she has all of the economy before a man ever has it.
Yeah.
You got to gain your economy. You got to gain. Let me express it this way. A man has got to gain his value. It's called the burden of performance.
That's
you don't take it up with God. God said that. God said, you got to work. You got to till the ground. You got to work from the sweat of your brow. Burden of performance. Burden of performance.
That's it.
Burden of performance. And for that reason, a man has got to add value to himself. A woman is born with what is most appealing to a man.
Right. That's right.
Period. So if she's 18 and she's an adult, that means she's got all of that 18-year-old beauty.
Uh-oh.
All that beauty in her 20s.
Yeah.
All of it. She can't.
Yes,
she get tired of all of the men hounding her, trying to pump her gas.
She don't get tired, do she? That
trying to walk her, take her groceries to the car. She get tired of men trying to put air in her tire. She get tired of that. Well, sometimes I just want to be left alone. Sometimes I just want to. All that in her 20s. If she's preserved that beauty and she managed that beauty, she still has that beauty in her 30s. Now, don't look at me in that tone of voice. A man don't start making no real money until he's been at his company for a little while. He has to been working for a little while. He had to get he didn't have it at 18 because he's still trying to develop and build a life. He can't live a life yet because he hasn't built one.
You have to build it.
He can't live a life yet. So when he says, I'm trying to get my stuff together, I'm trying to get my money together, because he's got to build a life before he can live a life. He's got to get the finances together because, listen, how can he provide for you when he hasn't made provisions to provide for himself? And all of that's outside himself. But yet at the same time, she still has her beauty.
That's just true.
So what did she do with that beauty from 18, 19, all the way to 25? What did she do with that beauty at 25 to 30? What did she do with that beauty? Hold on. Maybe the beauty is starting to decline at 50. And now when you talk to a lady that's 60 years old and you say, hey, thank you, mother. I ain't no mother. I was saying it as a compliment.
No, they want to be young as the other one.
See, they'll look at me in that tone of voice. Some would be uncomfortable when you respond to them as a mother figure because they equate age to the decline of beauty. And we haven't, and that's not what we're saying. We're saying we view you as a mother figure.
That's right.
But that's everyone, but this is what's interesting. Men don't have the value within the gender spectrum. We don't gain the value at 18. Yeah, women like you. Yeah, I was a man. You know, I had them. But you didn't have the money that you had at 40.
No, sir.
You didn't have the money you had when you 45 at 18 years old. It takes time to build that. So if she didn't preserve her beauty and she gave her beauty, which is a very powerful asset that the Bible has shown can be most influential.
Right.
He has invested that beauty, and that beauty began to sometimes wane because Bobby the drug dealer then stressed you out. Joe Blow the hood brother then stressed you out. And now this happened and, things happen and circumstances happen. But what's most valuable to a man when he is pursuing you is not your money.
Exactly.
I got money. Okay, congratulations. Mm-hmm. I got money. Well, men are never, I want women to get this. Men are never excited about your money because we never expect you to be our provider.
Oh, boom.
Men are never excited about your money because we never look to a woman to be our providers.
That's right.
So how much money you have, it don't excite men. It excites hobos.
That's it. Well put, doctor. Well put. Well,
so value the young women, value what you have.
Exactly.
Value, if God has blessed you with beauty, value that beauty.
That's it.
And one of the ways you can value your beauty is value who has access to your womb at a young age. At a young age. At a young age. I'm gonna say it. I don't mind. I'm not.
Go ahead, Doc.
I don't care. Don't fall into the trap of, I don't know why you trying to settle down and get married at 25. You don't even know what you like. You don't even know what you like. You
fall for it.
You haven't had it. Well, she don't want all these baby daddies. She don't want all this drama. She don't want to go through all of this headache and heartache with Bobby, Derek, Ricky, Mike, Sam, and all of these other brothers.
Hold on, Dr. Steve.
Put you through the ringer.
Dr. Steve, the simple pudding is here. She don't want to go through what you trying to get her to go through that you done already been through as a woman.
Watch this. But can I tell you something? The Bible is so practical, man. The Bible says older women teach the younger women. Older women, I'm gonna say it again, teach the younger women. The book of Titus says older women teach the younger women.
Well,
but
foolish woman can't teach them.
Now, the interesting thing is, one of the things I've noticed just within human behavior, a woman will listen to a woman and totally disregard what you say as a man.
That's it. Something wrong with that picture.
Let me take this shovel out. Let me take this shovel out and mess around and hurt somebody's feelings. Some brothers are thinking that they have all of this charm and they have all this charisma, and bro, you don't. Her girlfriend told her to like you.
Ain't that sad and pitiful?
Her other girlfriend said, girl, if you don't talk to him, you better get on it. You better act like you know he's a cool guy. It wasn't you goofy. Her girlfriends did that.
Like you ought to say something, boy.
So the Bible says, older women teach the younger women how to do what? How to do what? How to be keepers at home. How to do what? How to be tenders of their own home. How to do what? How teach them how to love their husband.
That's it.
I didn't write that. But if the older women are teaching, you don't need no man.
Oh boy.
If the older women are teaching, girl, you better make sure you have this. You don't need no man.
Oh boy.
If the older women are teaching, listen, forget all that. Instead of older women acknowledging, you know what, baby, I made some bad choices in my younger years.
Yeah.
I made some bad choices in my younger years. See, we talk about the guys that are no good, but will you be honest enough? If you 45 years old, if you 55 years old, and you haven't met just one. I didn't say 10. Just one.
Oh.
You haven't met one man that loved you so much that he wanted to spend the rest of his life with you, that he wanted to be exclusive with you, that he wanted to pay all your bills, that he wanted to rub your feet when you got off work, that he wanted to do all of that subservient stuff that makes you feel special. You haven't met one, then you don't know how to pick men.
Uh-oh.
If you haven't met one, if you haven't met two, and you in your 50s, but are you honest enough to tell a young woman, listen, baby, I made some bad decisions. Don't make these decisions I made. If that man care about you and that man's respecting you, that man treats you right, if you don't care about him, girl, if you don't care about him, don't use him for his money. Tell him that. Will you tell her that? Instead of telling her, hey, a sucker is born every day. If he gonna give it to you, get it. Hey, you got get.
They gonna tell him that.
He gonna spend it anyway. Take it. Instead of you tell her if you don't want that man, you don't want his money either.
Money, you don't want nothing to go along with him. Leave him alone.
Tell her. See, this is the thing. Can I go deeper? I'm gonna get my shovel out because it's almost in my face. This is what's interesting. This is what's interesting. Some women equate how phenomenal they are and how great they are because there are still a lot of men that desire them. I'm gonna go and mess you up. I'm gonna mess some things up, and it's okay. I'm showing my face. I'm showing my face as I say it. It's some that will accredit how phenomenal they are to how many men still want them. How many men still chase after them? How many men are willing to spend money on them? But can I go deeper? I'm gonna mess you up. Paul had that woman for 55 years. That lady, Big Mama, didn't do any twerking. Big Mama didn't have no. She went on the internet dropping it like it's hot and picking it up like it's warm. Big Mama had Paul for 55 years. Paul died, y'all. Paul died, and she had 13, 14 kids with Paul. And when Paul died, can I tell you what happened with Paul? Paul left her land. When Paul died, when Paul died, she didn't have to work or want a dime for the rest of her life.
That's right.
When Paul died, he made sure his kids had something.
That's it.
When Paul died, because all 13 of them kids was from Paul.
That's right.
And Paul didn't want to stay at that lumber yard all day. Paul was trying to get home. Paul was trying to get home to Paul was like, man, I got to go. I got something waiting on me.
I got to get home.
The 13 kids didn't just pop up.
No.
See, you look at how many men are desiring you, but you're not paying attention to that one man. That's that it. no matter how you look, he still see you like, man, she's bad. Boy, that thing's sexy. Now you a bad chick.
Yeah.
That's a bad chick. When that one man can look at you for 40 years and say, man, bring them thighs.
Still got it, girl.
Now you got something.
You got something, girl.
Let me tell my young ladies, don't you let nobody pump you up and gas you up when you turn your 20s, your 30s, like all these men want me. No, you're a bad chick. When that man can still look at you like brand new sliced bread after 35, 40 years, now you a bad chick. If that baby, you just knew.
Now you a bad
ain't
girl.
Bad, you knew.
Years old, they got you. Yeah, baby.
When that man can look at you for 40 years, when that man can look at you for 40, 50 years, 30 years, and look at you and say, man, she's still a bad one. Like, man, yeah, man, because you know why he can look at you like that? Even after you pick up a few pounds, because he don't see you with the 30 pounds or 40 pounds. There's still a part of him that sees you when he met you. It's like, man, when I met her, boy, she was a bad, that little bitty waist. He still see that. Yeah, you done had 13 kids. You done had 13 kids by him.
That's right.
You done had 13 kids by him, and he still looking at you like fresh bread.
Yeah,
now you
another one.
See, all women teach them that. But
they ain't gonna teach that.
The older women, I'm telling you, when you see older women in their 60s and 70s going online and you twerking, man, I'm so glad my grandma was a grandma, man.
Yeah,
I'm so glad my grandma, because if you're 65 and you 70 and you twerking, you're not teaching, you're competing. And no one can teach you. No one can teach you that's trying to compete with you.
Now that's it right there.
Man, don't mess. I'm through. Let me stop. I'm love. Y'all pray for me. My bad, Pastor Boy. Y'all, I'm done. I ain't meaning to. I didn't mean
you on the round table, Dr. Stevens. Nobody is safe on this show. Nobody is safe on this show. Nobody is safe on this show. Listen, let's move on to the next one because he done drug it, and oh my goodness. Listen here, Dr. Steve, you own it. When they get it in their head that you have to learn to I was talking the other day to a female on the phone, and we were just gaggling and talking, and I told her, I asked her the question, why do women listen to another woman on how to please the man that she's with? They listen to each other. Some men like women with hairy legs. Some men like that. You need to know what the man you with like. And if the woman that you hanging out with knows more about the man that you with, maybe you should get out of the bed with that man and let her get in the bed and see if that works between them two. Because it's something wrong when some other woman can give you better advice about the man you with, and you can't offer the right advice for the man you got. I'm sorry. I can't go with that. You still an infant. You still a baby. I cannot rock you. I'm not here to start you, train you. I'm none of that. I'm here looking for what I'm looking for. I'm expecting you to give as well as I give. My responsibility to do this as a man. You need to be a woman and do the same thing. No relationship should be held captive, or you get to hold a woman or a man hostage to babysit them for them to do their responsibility. That's just not a goal for me. Go ahead, Dr. Steve.
I ain't gonna stay here too long. This has been one of our components that has totally messed up so many things. And I'm saying we with a capital we, with a capital me, with a capital us, with a capital society. When we turned sex and it became more about recreation than procreation, we minimize what God himself ordained. And we stop applauding. I'm gonna mess it up. Y'all pray for me. We stop applauding the man.
Keep going.
We stop applauding the man, and we stop applauding that woman that waited until they got married.
Wow.
And I want to tell that young man and that young woman, if your child or your grandchild is a virgin, encourage them to stay virgins.
Yeah, that's it. Encourage
because once you've eaten up that tree,
Lord,
once you have eaten up that tree, their eyes will be open.
That's it.
And that poses a problem not only for the other person, it poses a problem for you. And so many times we don't want to talk, we don't want to deal with it, but so many times we have to be healed from sex. I'm stepping away from my ice cream analogy. I'm moving away from my ice cream analogy because I normally call it ice cream. We have to be healed from the ice cream because we have indulged in it so much. I'm gonna mess it up. We've indulged in it so much until it has caused us to be out of shape.
Right.
And so now the appetite is so abnormal.
Right.
It takes more to please her because she's seen more.
Oh, so now you gotta try to help. You gotta try you gotta try to make up for what John, Peter, Paul,
now,
and sometimes Susan.
And watch this. And I'm gonna mess up things up a little more. It's gonna also require it requires a different type of effort now because he has seen too much. What if you learned and functioned together?
Right.
What if you learn together and you measure and assess and embrace and enjoy according to the Bible? When the proverb says, the wife of thy youth. The wife of thou youth. Let her breasts fulfill you. What? Because now what? You want a man because you're broke? You want a man because you're struggling? You want a man to be the addition to your life now? You want a woman now? See, a man can't decide. Now, a man can't just up and say, okay, I'm ready to get married now, and he broke. Because can I go a step further? How many women want to marry a broke man?
They ain't.
So he's got to go, like I said previously, he's got to go and add to himself. See, a woman can say she has value just because she's a woman and she's pretty. Right. I know my value. Okay, cool. So I know my value. Okay, good. Some would suggest that a broke man is worse than a broke hand. That a man, if a man is unuseful, then there is no need for him.
That's right.
I'm gonna say it again. If he's unuseful, he's unneeded.
No need for him.
He is only desired as to the problem he can solve or what he can contribute financially. What I need a man for the struggle. You've been paying everything by yourself, but do you?
So why get him now, right?
Okay. You've been paying everything by yourself, but you expect to have a more comfortable life now. Since you have a man, but yet at the same token, you don't need him. It's such a cognitive.
My.
And see these layers. There are so many layers to this, and the challenge is if we first embrace. So what's the answer then? Here's the first part of it. Go on a sex fast.
See how long that lasts.
Because these babies don't just pop up.
No.
There are no more Marys. There are no more immaculate conceptions.
All right.
That's not happening again. So if these babies are popping up, and every now and then you got to deal with that. You got to deal with your scratch, your heat. I get it. Whatever the case may be. But listen, go on a sex fast.
Mm-hmm.
And watch how you respond instead of me.
I want to just drop something in there.
Hey, instead of men looking at the opportunity to have sex as a reward, why not wait, build yourself up, make the best possible selection, and not based upon her shape, her face, and her figure, and don't rush into it. But just pay attention to her lifestyle.
Right.
Pay attention to her mannerism.
Right.
Wait to not just, I'm not talking about the makeup on someone's face. I'm talking about the cosmetics that will appear to be. The cosmetics that say, I'm a soft, nice person. I'm not egregious. I'm not confrontational. I don't do all of that drama. I'm not chaotic. Why don't you watch her mannerism? Watch her lifestyle. Watch who she hangs with. I'm going to say it again. Watch her lifestyle. Watch her mannerism. Watch who she hangs with. But why are you telling men to watch how she hangs? Because you the one that said he who finds. Well, who he going to find you with? He going to find you in a bunch of chaos? He going to find you in a whole bunch of other... You the one saying it. I mean, what you want?
What you want, baby? Tell me what you want.
You said he that fine. Okay, so he's gonna find you with a whole bunch of other messy young women that's full of chaos. They like drama. They like men. So that's where he gonna find you. So I'm telling this brother.
Show me your friends, and I'll show you who that person is. That's right.
That man got to go out there and go find. So observe her mannerism. Watch her lifestyle.
That's it.
Pay attention to her lifestyle. Her phone stay busy. Her phone stay blown up. Her inbox stay blown up. Pay attention to her mannerism. Don't just listen to what she's telling you. Watch how she lives.
Watch
how she moves. Watch, man.
Behavior.
Watch.
That's all you got to do. Watch. Pay attention.
Pay attention. Because that's hey, and I'm a man. I get it. I understand she's got a nice face, a nice figure, and some men will bypass everything. See, the more beautiful she is, the more craziness we accept. I'm going to say it again. The more beautiful we think she is. And of course, we get beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But if we consider her to be beautiful, we put up with some stuff because of her beauty. And then if you couple that with sex, you crazy. My goodness. Now this brother here is out of his warbles. Because now she's beautiful. Now she's beautiful, and she has gained an opportunity to see how you respond to her exotic, erotic.
Oh boy!
And you didn't want to wait till you didn't want to wait till marriage. You wanted to get it. Yeah, man. She bad. She bad. And now guess what? Every time you go somewhere, your wallet open.
Ooh,
every time you go somewhere, you ain't even paid. See, boy, I'm gonna make you mad. Every time you go somewhere, bro, your wallet open. You ain't even paid for your work boots. I'm gonna say it again. You ain't paid for your work boots. I'm gonna say it again. You haven't even paid for your work boots. You going off on the supervisor when the supervisor told you to go and buy your tool belt, and you don't even have your tool belt. But I guarantee you,
she got what she came for.
I guarantee you, you made sure you took her out.
Exactly.
And you know why?
One of the things I want to drop in here while you're on that note is how you start is how you finish. You know, you start building your relationship with the pleasure first, and you're into the physical. I'm only agreeing with Dr. Stevens. Then when you run it, I tell couples this, you know, if you think your dating is giving you an idea of what marriage is going to be, you sadly mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Because marriage is a whole nother world.
Yes, sir.
I said what dating does is give you something that when you face those worst moments in marriage, you have something you can restore to. But if all you had was the physical in the beginning, you have nothing to restore that relationship when that's gone.
Wind is pretty high down here, so we're back. We'll come back in. They'll be back in short.
You want to stay here?
I'm here. I hear you.
Okay, so we have to be careful how we start. If just when you're talking about longevity, it's got to be more than the physical.
It's got to be.
You know, and you cannot. And like I agree with you wholeheartedly. You know what? If you take the physical out of there, and just let you can determine whether that's going to be a relationship or not. You can really see that whether there's a connection, whether there's chemistry. You can follow things out, like you said. I will find out so much about you just being around you and what you have with you, who you connected to, all these different things. Because now this is what you've been working on. I didn't need my wife to do is to tell me a whole lot back. And you know why? Because I was being nosy. I was looking in the drawers. I was looking all everywhere. I was looking at the kids, how they talk to her and how she interact with the kids. I was observing. I paid attention. I didn't need to hear the talking. I just paid attention. You know, how she pay her bills, how she do those things. I was note-taking because it was business. But I'm not going to do a merger and not know what I'm doing. And the same thing with her. I like to see the same thing about me so we know if we're going to look for stability, what things are compatible and what things are not. But if you're all into physical, which we end up sometimes doing, that's why we end up. Because once that physical fade out when you got bills, bottom line. You know,
all you got to do is wait. It's going to fade.
From the window when you see where he's so flirtish now, because you know, you don't notice that I'm flirtish when we dating, but then when we get married, why you in the window so long? You know, now you're starting to pay attention. You know, but so much of what you said tonight, I got to get ready to get off. But something that I wanted to put that point in there because so many of these relationships fail because they failed to prepare before they but when they was getting together.
Can I drop this?
And we coming back after match talking about what should have, could have done, and everything like. Dr. Stevens brought it out, and I just want to say, even biblical time, man went and built and get things in place for himself before he bought a woman. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that we made in men, and we have to say it to this generation because then nobody say it to us, you don't go get the woman first, and then you're trying to focus on making a garden.
That ain't gonna work.
That ain't gonna work.
It ain't gonna work.
And that's what we had to for God, and then me. You didn't have nothing to help. Where was the garden? Where was the work boots? I mean, come on. And you have to find out what all, there's a whole lot to you before you present you to someone else. You need to have it.
This is true.
God didn't have to tell Eve, Adam got a garden. He's the executive of the creation. He didn't have to tell him that. When she opened her eyes, she saw too.
Everything was already set.
She saw too. Just like he saw bones on my bone. He just spoke first. He bones on my bone.
It was already ready.
He saw first, but she wasn't the only one. He wasn't the only one saw. She saw too. So I think if you're in these relationships, especially people like myself who've been to block failed several times, and it's because I didn't have the proper principles and teaching that now thank God.
Now here's my question.
And I want to hear his final opinion.
Hey, we
got one more question, gentlemen, before we land out here. I got one more question.
It's gonna change.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got one more question after Dr. Steve get through with this, and co-host, I'm gonna ask you, just give me about 15 more minutes. Give me about 15 more minutes. We're gonna ask this final question, then we're gonna let it go. Go ahead, Dr. Steve.
I ain't gonna stay too. I'm gonna be real quick and in and out. You said something about Adam and Eve, and I'm gonna talk fast as I can. You said something about Adam and Eve. Was that enough for Eve? Was that enough for Eve? With everything that Adam had, was that enough for her? Was that enough for her?
Oh.
The action gives
the
actions give the answer. Because as soon as the serpent, because it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for Eve. Because the Bible says that it was Eve who was deceived and not Adam.
Yeah, that's right.
The Bible, I didn't write. The Bible says that Eve was deceived and not Adam. Sin came into the world by one man's sin. And what was that man's name? That man was Adam. But the Bible says that Adam was not deceived in terms of being tricked. She was tricked because she was offered a better deal.
Yeah.
Her deal was, you shall be God as he is God.
Yeah.
Yes, Adam was the executive of the garden. Adam had all of this, but the serpent offered her a better deal. And she went for the better deal. And as a result,
what was Adam? Positive? Well, why we can't? I did not want to go into chapter 3.
Truth is positive. Truth is positive.
I was thinking positive.
Hey, but you I didn't write it. I didn't write it. The Bible says that. The Bible says that the woman was deceived, not Adam. The Bible says that Adam sinned, and for one man sin entered the world. But for one man who is Jesus Christ, all shall be redeemed through him that believe. I didn't write that. That's the book. Eve was deceived. And what was she deceived by? She was deceived by words that says, here's a better deal, Eve. You'll be God. And if you are God, as God is God, that's Genesis 3. We know that. Then guess what? You don't need a man. And you won't even need God if you're God.
That's what I'm talking about, Doc.
I didn't write the Bible. It's there.
You know me. That's where I'm biblical right there, Doc. You know that's me right there. It's right there.
It's right.
So what kind of deal is she waiting on now?
All of us are preachers. This is what we do. It's in the text.
So the question is, Dr. Steve, as we get ready to go to the next one here, what kind of deal the one land on the side of you is waiting on? But I'm moving on. I'm moving on.
Say it one more time.
I said the question on the table, and I'm moving on. We're gonna go to the next question. At that is, on all of us who are married to a woman, what kind of deal she waiting on?
Now here's what's interesting. Here's what's interesting.
I know he can let it go. I know he ain't gonna let it go.
I know he can say chapter 2.
Hey, this is what's interesting. Watch this. A wise man observes his own house.
That's right.
My house ain't none of your business.
That's
right.
And
if anybody, see, that's one of the reasons why some people couldn't keep their house.
Minding somebody else's business.
You letting everybody else in your house.
You pull the camera up close on this one.
I see it.
I'm trying to get it all in there.
Yeah.
Hold up.
He getting ready to land a bird, Doc. He getting ready to land what I'm telling you.
See, hey, listen. What goes on in your house is your business.
That's right.
Unless there's some immoral turpitude. If it's immoral turpitude, something that's against the law, something that's harmful and hurtful to the kids, to her well-being. See, notice I didn't say his well-being because don't nobody care that much about you anyway, bro. Notice I said her well-being for the kids. I'm just keeping it while y'all looking at me in that tone of voice. Ain't nobody
concerned about you.
Hold on. Let me flip it. Let me flip it. I gotta go here. Right. I gotta give me 3 minutes. I gotta go there. See, we talk now. You want to deal with marriage. You want to deal with marriage. Some people don't want marriage. They want weddings. They want the celebration. They want the optics removed. They want to be able to say, well, I've been married already. They want to have a chance.
3 or 4, 5 times.
They want to have the chance to say at the family gatherings, see, I got my man. I got somebody. I'm married now. They want that removed because every time they enter the family gatherings, when you gonna get married? When you gonna get married? When you gonna go get married? They want that removed because marriage says it's tough, but I'm here. And listen, I've seen brothers get left as soon as watch this, and that's why a man better understand. Listen, no, you're not simply marrying money. No. I don't remove that because if you get broke and lose that job, and she's grown accustomed to living a lifestyle of 150 when you only made $145,000 a year, but she lived $150,000 lifestyle. She didn't marry you, Joe Blow. She married the lifestyle. She married
your mouth. That's it.
She married the lifestyle. Right. If she's grown accustomed to getting 2 or 3 pair of red bottoms every week, if she's grown accustomed to whatever she's grown accustomed to in terms of fun, it ain't you. It's the lifestyle. Because if you lose that job, you're going to lose her.
That's it.
That's a done deal.
That's how you test it. That's how you test it. Don't buy it.
Let me go here because I got to celebrate a lady. I got to celebrate some women. There are some women who did what they did and they loved that man.
Right.
See, love don't show itself until your back's against the wall. Don't tell you love me, I'm making 150. That's easy. Yeah.
That's it.
Of course I'm going. If I eat, baby, you're going to eat good. If I eat good, you're going to eat good. If I can go shopping at the Galleria and you mine, of course you're going to go shopping too.
That's it.
That's right. Easy. Do it together. But I know a lady right now. I'm not going to say her name because I love her. I told her I'm going to put this on my show. She said, my husband had a blood clot in his head, an aneurysm, and it bust. He had to learn how to talk again. He had to learn how to walk again. Man, he had to learn how to talk again. He had to learn how to walk again. He didn't have no motor skills. She had to bathe him. She had to put his clothes on. She had to do all of that. And he looked at her as he began to stammer and develop words and said, "Are you gonna leave me now?" And you know what she said? She said, "You took me in and loved me. You loved my son. You treated me so well. You were a great man to me. I will not leave you because you at your worst." Can I tell you something? Listen, there are some brothers that didn't go through half of that.
That's it.
She skied up. I ain't got time to be putting up.
I had it to happen to me.
Up. She
just did it.
But listen, worst. That's when you want to talk about love.
Yeah.
Come on, man. He not this or he not that. I've seen brothers that committed some foul acts. They wasn't angels. I'm not going to say they were. Let me explain it this way. They committed some horrible acts, but with that woman they loved, that woman that was their wife, that woman that they cherished, she got cancer, she got sick. Right. He bathed her.
He took care of that. That's right.
Took her to the doctor. Made sure everything that could be possibly done to make sure she gained health, he was there.
He was there.
I know some women, I know some women that's like, hey, baby, you can go and die.
That's it. Man, let me tell you.
Like, I've watched them, man.
Yes, sir.
I've watched this.
I just experienced that, Dr. Steve. I just experienced that. I just experienced
it. Because she cannot imagine what should be a picture of strength at its weakest point and unable to give her what she desires. And now it's time to show the strength of love in marriage. What happened? What happened to in sickness and in health? What happened to in sickness and in health? Worse. What happened? That man that love stuff, but because you got some good emotions, and sometimes all you're doing is all you're doing sometimes is projecting and reflecting the level of emotional investment that I'm already giving you.
Yes, exactly. That's all.
I'm going to say it again. All many are doing is simply reflecting and projecting the level of emotional investment that I'm already giving you.
Exactly.
Period. That's what I'm giving you. That's why you're reflecting it, because I'm giving it. But if you're flat on my back, I can't give it like that. If I'm sick, I can't give it like that. You're in a bad car accident, I can't give it like that. That's why I told a brother on my job, I say, listen, man, she bad. Let me ask you this, man. If you can, I've seen men give buckets of money to the lady they love, that lady in their life, that lady they married, and was sitting on that toilet all night.
That's it.
And didn't have nobody help them get off. Don't play with me.
Yeah, I see.
Now, show me your love then.
There you go. Now you showed me.
I'm not talking about your biological drive. I'm not talking about your biological drive. I'm not talking about your biological needs. I'm saying that's love. Where he going? Why he doing this? Well, he did that.
What's going on here?
A real man wouldn't do this. A real man wouldn't do that. Oh, okay. All right.
You wouldn't even know a real man if he walked up on you.
Listen, you want that man to make a bunch of money. What happened when he get laid off his job? What happens? What happens? What happens then?
She gone.
What happens when he's in a bad accident? What happens when he's in a bad accident and they got to amputate his legs?
Yeah, she gone.
What happens? What are you going to do? Because that's what you sign up for when you sign up for marriage.
But marriage.
That ain't
for words, rich or poor.
I'm gonna level up. He don't have enough ambition. Well, I thought I could help him get to the next. Well, he was satisfied and enjoyed being a plumber. No, but you always knew in your mind and in your heart, I can get the executive for the bank. No, this is the man you married. You don't want to marry who's at your level. You want to marry someone that's above your pay rate.
Your level.
And then tell him that, listen, accept me how I am in any way I am, no matter how I am. But he's got to change and be willing to change to accommodate wherever you are and wherever you want to move to. How does that make sense?
Exactly.
Show me love. What kind of love you have when you flat on your back?
That's when you got love.
Yeah. Oh, he cheated. Yeah, that's horrible. It's horrible for anybody to cheat. No doubt about it. But show me how you're going to respond when that man broke. Laid off his job. You stay, a brother will stay laid off his job too long. She gone.
That's it.
Gone.
Listen at this here. Listen at this, Dr. Stevens. This is what you're saying to me. I just got out of a situation just like that. Some things happened to me that should not have happened. And on my way, while everything was looking like it was gone, it was just hanging in the bottom because God had me. Let me tell you, I am a successful multi now behind this situation. And guess what, Dr. Steve? I'm glad that person ain't in my life no more. Because if they had been in my life right now, ain't no telling what that person would have done and what they was coming to get and trying to get and take from me. I am so happy that this God that I serve takes care of me and took care of me and protected me from this individual who lied, stole, took, hacked into my banking account, hacked into my cash checks in my and her account that belonged to me. The whole 9 yards this lady did. God showed me who this woman was, but I also knew what I was dealing with, and I backed completely down. Followed me from the state down here to this state to finish the job, but God still blocked all the work. So I know what you're saying is complete truth and it's facts. Men, we have got to be careful who we entertain and who we keep company with. Let's go to this last question so we can get out of here. Dr. Stevens want to play with his TV, his camera.
Man.
But anyway.
That nice lazy boy. Y'all better hurry. I gotta get out of here. What you got?
Okay, here we go. Here's the question that was asked. What should a woman do when a wife stops being intimate with him? That's a loaded one. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a.
What should the woman do?
What should the man do, or should the husband do? Should a wife stop being intimate with him? This question came from a woman now.
Well,
it's a look at that preacher boy. Look behind his back. You see that staircase there? This man here. Look at
Hey, man.
Look at it. You gonna make me go to my house to show you something, Dr. Steve. You gonna make me go to my house to show you something, boy. You keep playing with me.
Hey, man.
You know how I roll, so don't play with me, Doc.
I'm just trying to position my camera while I'm playing.
That's a lot of position, ain't it, Dr. Boy? That's a lot of position, ain't it?
That's how you get the intimacy back.
You ready yourself about that, Dr. Steve? You ready yourself about that time, baby?
No. I'm gonna drop this in. I got to get ready to go, but let me drop this in here.
Okay, come on.
This is a loaded gun because this can come from many
different formats. Yeah.
That can, because we also noticed that in certain relationships, women thought letting themselves go. You know, the physical part, they go and they no longer attracted to the husband. The mental issues were even brought up earlier. The negative complaining, you don't everything like this, and you constantly saying to them that they're not meeting their, they're not a man, they're not taking care, and they're starting to hear that, so they mess with their psyche. Low testosterone start to play a key into this. Health issues start to play in this. So it's a various number of things that some men is not even aware of. And I can only talk from testosterone. I didn't know nothing about the low T thing. And all of a sudden I just noticed my drive started going away. And it's not because I didn't want it. I just didn't have no drive. And had I not had another man that we bond, and he was talking about his effect, it didn't affect his sex drive, but it affected him mentally. He was depressed all the time. He drove his wife crazy. Those things, those health issues that men have that we don't talk about can play a big major role why a man loses drive. So this is a loaded gun in the sense there's a lot to unpack out of this, other than just being simple of, just her being physical, and then it may be the physical part of it that comes, but that plays a big part of it. But otherwise, other than the other nagging and criticism and tearing him down, if you've been constantly comparing him to other men and stuff, that drive gonna go.
Yeah, but I think let me correct the question. Let me correct the question again. It said, "What should a husband do when a wife stop being intimate with him?" What should the husband do?
Can I say one thing?
Now you want to ask Dr. Stevens on that, because the man shoot.
Can I deal with it?
Because we ain't got too many tools in that toolbox about that.
I got something.
Yeah,
I got something.
I got something. This is one of the things that is so outside of the word of God that sometimes we've had the propensity to observe on TV and other places. According to the book of 1 Corinthians 7 chapter, you should not defraud your wife, or husband should not defraud his wife. Wife, don't defraud thy husband, and except to be for fasting and prayer, and then you come together quickly, except so that you would not be tempted by Satan. Now, here is the thing. When she is using sex as a reward or a punishment, that's not of God. You give room for Satan.
Right.
I'm going to say it again. If you're using sex as a reward or a punishment, he's been a good boy. He's been a good boy this time. Okay, come on, good boy. Okay. Good boy.
Good boy.
You've been good boy. You've been a good boy. All right, you did this now. Okay, you're gonna sleep on Mr. Couch until I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, I'll come again.
That is not of God.
Get out my bed. That's what you gonna do.
The Bible says defraud not each other. You shouldn't defraud her, man. There you go. There you go. It gives room to Satan. It's a form of manipulation. It is. And it is of Satan, and is not of God. And since men are typically the sexual aggressive ones, I'm not supposed to just be wanting to do this because you want to do it. See, we're not talking about those who are we're not talking about those who are living sexually promiscuous lifestyles. We're talking about those who are in covenantal connections.
A marriage.
Because now you got to deal with the same movie every single day, and you got to be interested in watching this movie.
Right. Stay interested.
Now, I don't care how you look at it. Sisters, get this and pray for me when you go to bed at night. The movie don't start. The movie don't start. The movie don't start because you say it started. The movie starts when I turn the knob. The movie don't start just because you say start the movie. That's not how it starts. The movie starts with me. The movie starts with me. And I know that that's uncomfortable. That's uncomfortable. The movie starts with that man. If that man don't enter the movie theater, there is no movie.
That's it.
There is no movie.
That's it.
There is no movie.
There is no movie. There is no movie. So, there is no movie.
Now, can I tell you what? See, if you're a wise woman, you won't deprive him. If that's your man, if that's your husband, that's your covenantal connection. You know why? Because every time you think you are losing something by allowing him to be intimate with you, and you're frustrated. But what you're really doing, you're gaining more of his strength. And you land that much more of an impact or influence on him.
That's right.
He is not at his strongest.
I gotta get ready to go. Let me say this.
He's more apt to listen.
If you don't be intimate with him, somebody will.
Well,
keep
see there?
Keep holding it out.
See there? Look where you went. Look where you went.
I want y'all to say
that. I ain't condoning it, but if you don't,
I'm telling her to do it. Sister, do it. Every chance we do.
Do it.
Every chance we do. Make sure he don't have any gas in his car. Make sure he ain't got no gas in his car.
Take his strength. Take his strength, baby. Take all his strength. Every chance you get. Take everything you get.
You have his ears.
Yeah, that's it. That is. Take his strength and take his ears. You got his ears. Now. That's it. That's it. Listen, we out of here. Our time has expired. We got to get out, man. We love you. We love all you guys. Listen, we want to thank you for watching us on tonight. And we hope you come back on next Monday night as we go live and go even further. Listen, we out of here. Y'all, I hope you enjoy it. Write, text, call. Do what you need to do. Touch bases. Listen, call. Call in with your live questions. Email us. You need the information. Go online. I'm going to set this banner up that has all the information you need on there. How to do it. Listen, EFI Network. Contact us by email, eefinetworks@gmail.com. Phone us 346-493-2630. It's been an interesting night. If you need to review us, go to YouTube. Go to Lamar Thomas, yours truly. Right on YouTube, you will find this video. Or keep strolling back down the timeline. This video will be reposted. I hope you had a wonderful night. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you the next time around.